You wake up in total darkness, your hands hit wood a few inches above your face. You are in a coffin, and you are 6 feet underground. Here's the first brutal fact. The box around you holds only a few hours of breathable air. And it isn't running out of oxygen that gets you first. So let's do the real math of it calmly, which, as you'll see, is also your only chance. The rules. A standard sealed coffin. 6 feet of soil above you. A healthy body, no phone, no tools. Just you, the box, and the air inside it. You versus your own breathing. Let's run the experiment. Round 1, the air. And the surprise inside it. You'd assume you die when the oxygen runs out. You don't. Every breath you exhale fills the box with carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide turns poisonous long before the oxygen is gone. As it builds up, your head pounds, your breathing races, and you drift toward unconsciousness. In a sealed coffin, that point arrives somewhere between 1 and about 6 hours. And that range is not fixed. It depends almost entirely on one thing you actually control: how fast you breathe. There's a reason for that, and it's built into you. The desperate urge to breathe isn't triggered by low oxygen. Your body has no real sensor for that. It's triggered by rising carbon dioxide, so the suffocating air hunger feeling arrives long before you're actually short of oxygen. Your body is screaming about the wrong gas. It also explains a strange fact. In gases with no carbon dioxide, people simply pass out with no distress at all. In your box, you get the agony instead. Verdict. Your own breath poisons the box. Round 2. The instinct that kills you fastest. Every cell in you wants to scream, thrash, and claw at the lid. It is the most natural response imaginable. It is also the worst. Panic triples your breathing rate. Screaming and struggling burn through your air 3 times faster and flood the box with carbon dioxide sooner. You can panic away hours of life in a few minutes. The people most likely to survive anything like this are the ones who can do the impossible. Stay calm in the exact moment calm feels insane. Your breath is your fuel gauge. Slow it down and you buy time. Verdict. Panic is an exit. The wrong one. Round 3. So why not just push your way out? Above the lid sits 6 feet of packed soil. That's easily over a ton of weight pressing straight down on the wood. No human being is strong enough to lift that. Even if the lid cracked, the loose earth would pour in and pack around you before you could ever dig upward. Which leaves the cruelest truth of the box. Clawing, kicking, and screaming don't just fail. They spend the one resource keeping you alive. Verdict. The ground itself is the lock. Round 4. This fear is so old it built its own machines. For centuries, people were terrified of being buried alive by mistake. In the 1800s, that fear got so intense that inventors sold safety coffins. They came with bells you could ring, flags you could raise, and breathing tubes to the surface, so that if you woke up down there, you could signal the living. There's a popular story that this is where phrases like "saved by the bell" come from. That origin is mostly a myth, but the coffins and the fear behind them were absolutely real. Germany went further and built entire buildings for it. They were called waiting mortuaries. Bodies were laid out in warm halls with strings tied to their fingers running to bells. An attendant sat there around the clock waiting for a bell to move. Nobody was buried until the body had visibly begun to decay. The only proof of death anyone fully trusted. The fear reached the top too. George Washington's dying request was that his body be left 3 days before burial. Hans Christian Andersen slept beside a note reading, "I only appear to be dead." And the fear had a real basis. Before modern medicine, telling deep unconsciousness from death was genuinely hard. During cholera epidemics, bodies were buried fast to stop the spread, sometimes within hours. What killed the panic wasn't bravery. It was instruments. The stethoscope, then tests of the heart's electrical activity, then brain activity. Each one made probably dead into something measurable. Today, with monitors and confirmed brain death, a genuine premature burial in a modern hospital system is vanishingly unlikely. The bells came down because the machines got better. Verdict, old enough and real enough to build machines against. Round 5. Because with one small change, the whole story flips. Everything so far assumed a sealed box. Give that box a single thin pipe to fresh air, and the math changes completely. Hours become days, the carbon dioxide has somewhere to go. We've seen the extreme version of this. In 2010, 33 Chilean miners were trapped half a mile underground for 69 days and lived. The difference was everything the coffin doesn't have: space, a pocket of air, and a lifeline drilled down from above to feed them. With air, a buried human can last not hours, but months. Verdict, the whole story lives or dies on one pipe of air. So, how long could you really last down there? The honest scoreboard, sealed and panicking, maybe an hour. Sealed and perfectly calm, up to around 6. with even a thread of fresh air, days, and with a real supply line, months, it was never the darkness that killed you. It was never the soil, or the fear, or the silence. It was the simplest thing you own, your own breath with nowhere left to go, turning the safest looking box on Earth into the most airtight trap there is.